Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, J+K Retro Gaming. This week I'm going to be playing the number 6 game on IGN's all-time SNES list, Street Fighter 2 Turbo Edition.
どこまで強くなるのか。ストリートファイター2ターボスーパーファミコンで新発売。 Capcom.
So the Turbo Edition was brought to us by Capcom in 1992 in the arcades, and a quick year later, in 1993, came onto the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. And of course, along with the thousands of kids out there, as soon as it came available for the SNES, I knew I had to save up my money and pick up this game. And this is my original Street Fighter 2 Turbo Edition that I purchased way back in 1993. Of course, it's a combat fighting game, and we, the player, get to choose from a number of characters and fighters and take them through the Street Fighter World Warrior Tournament. If we get through all the fighters, there's 3 bosses at the end, and if we get through M. Bison,
I'm going to kick Bison's ass.
we get to see a little cut sequence based on each of the characters, whoever you finish the game with, where Capcom gives us a little bit of a glimpse of each character's background and also their motivation to fight. So I was so excited when I saw this game pop up on the list and I would be playing it. Haven't played it in a while, but it's one of my favorite all-time games. I shudder to think how much money I spent on this game as a kid in the arcades, spending my hard-earned or my parents' hard-earned quarters. Although playing this game in the arcades was tough as a kid because there would be a lineup of quarters and challengers of adults older than me, more skilled than me, and I must say I was a little bit intimidated. But there was a corner store that was about 5-minute walk from my house, Red Rooster no longer exists, that had a Street Fighter 2 cabinet in the back of the store, and that's where I spent countless hours playing the game. So enough talking, can't wait to go on this nostalgia trip and play Street Fighter 2 Turbo Edition.
USSR. Round 1, fight! Hadouken! 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 You win! Perfect!
So for audio and music, I'm going to give this game perfect 10 out of 10.
You win! Perfect!
Soon as I popped this bad boy in and the iconic soundtrack filled the room, brought back so many memories, so much nostalgia, brought me back in the day as a kid when, as I said, pumping quarter after quarter in the arcade machine cabinets, but also the first time when I brought this home, unwrapped it, and popped it in the machine for the first time. I almost gave this game a 9 out of 10 for audio and music instead of 10 because I'm not a big fan of the turbo and the sped up sound effects and music. I do prefer the original Street Fighter 2 regular soundtrack. Decided to give this game a 10 because you can still choose between the 2 modes. So you're not stuck playing the turbo mode just because you bought the turbo edition. So that was a nice touch. Also perfect because of the second to none sound effects. So the punching, kicking, all the special effects like throwing fireballs, and of course iconic special moves like the Dragon Punch, each having its own sound effect. So that was a nice touch by Capcom. So 10 out of 10 for audio and music.
You win! Yoga fire. Hadouken. Yoga. Yoga fire. Yoga fire. Hadouken. 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 Hadouken.
So for video and graphics, I'm going to give this game another perfect 10 out of 10.
You win. Perfect.
Each level had graphics and animations that was relevant to each of the fighters' home country. That was a nice touch. Also super detailed background as well as the characters. You could see their pulsating muscles every time they bounced around or did their special moves. Also the coloring and shading, second to none. Awesome animation and 16-bit magic.
Hadouken! 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 Hadouken!
So for all important gameplay, I'm going to give Street Fighter 2 Turbo Edition 9 out of 10. Could have given it a perfect score here, but again, I do not like the Turbo Edition, so the sped up game mechanics. But of course, you can turn that mode off or just select the original version, so I didn't want to dock it too much there. I think when they developed this game, Capcom did a superb job with the format, so the quick best of 3 combat mode, as well as the overall tournament structure, where you have to go through all the fighters and then the 3 bosses. It was just perfect, so fun to play. Especially when you can go through and play with each of the characters. You're not limited to 1 or 2 fighters like in some games. And of course, each having their own special moves. That just adds to the intrigue and fun of the game. Also, the game, I believe, had a perfect level of difficulty, so it wasn't too easy, but it was challenging enough to make it through all the levels without continuing, and the combat mechanics were almost impeccable. Sometimes the special moves like throwing a fireball or a dragon punch sometimes wouldn't be as responsive, but maybe that was just me not doing the controls right. But for all you Street Fighter fans out there, who doesn't remember the first time you pulled off a special move like the dragon punch? Such a glorious feeling. So 9 out of 10 for gameplay. So that was Street Fighter 2 Turbo Edition for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. And Nintendo Power actually ranks this game as number 3 on their list of SNES games. But of course, it's number 6 on the IGN list. Number 1 in my heart, so I'm going to give this game an overall score of 9.5 Marios out of 10. Again, maybe I'm biased because I had so much history in my childhood playing this game, so there's so much nostalgia there. Let me know in the comments if you guys have played this game, if you guys love it still, if you still play it, if you love the movies that came out.
Don't think so.
Love to hear your experiences in the comments. So once again, thank you all for watching. Thanks to all our subscribers for all your support. We'll see you next week on the next 5-minute gameplay challenge. Until then, keep fit and have fun. See you later.
どこまで強くなるのか。ストリートファイター2ターボスーパーファミコンで新発売。